Anybody need more time getting that graph set up? So since I'm recording, I don't have your cameras up. I don't see your camera. So if you want to let me know, I just type it into the chat. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go to the top here and just put in some notes. The first thing I'm going to put in then is a couple of definitions. Domain. D-O-M-A-I-N. Okay. What the domain means, it's very simple. You just have to remember it. Okay. The domain is are your X values in a set of ordered pairs. Okay, so you have several XY coordinates, okay? And then from that set of ordered pairs, the domain is just referring to all the X values in your ordered pairs. Okay. And the range, okay, the range is just referring to your Y values in a set of ordered pairs. Okay, so just highlight here, a main thing, okay, you need to commit to memory or know is that the domain means the X values and the range means the Y values. Okay, so there's one thing I want, the main point of today is get that set in your mind. Okay, domain means X, range means Y. Okay. All right, I'm going to give you two examples here, and then we'll look at the graph for the third example. Okay, so the first one you'll see in IX, or one example of something you'll see in IXL, you'll see a set of ordered pairs. It'll be 5, our example here will be 5, 3, -2, 4, -7, -10. Okay. And then it might ask you for, or it will ask you either for the domain. Okay, so if it asks you for the domain, what you're going to put in, just your X values. Okay, so I think on let's just put it in first. All right, so your X values. So in IXL, it's very straightforward. You're going to just type in 5, comma, and then space, -2, comma, space, and then -7. Okay, the domain just means your X values. And I think in IXL, it'll have a bracket like this already set up. Okay, but that's what you're typing in for the domain. Right there, okay? And then, or it might ask you for the range. The range just meaning your Y values. Okay, so you would just type in the Y values, right? Just being the second number in each ordered pair. So the range, you would put in 3 for this one, 4, and -10. Okay, and again, there'll be a bracket there. Okay, so very straightforward. The domain just means your X. It's asking for the domain. You're just going to list the X values. The range just means your Y values, and you're just going to list your Y values, the second number. Okay, let's do one more example where it's repeated. It's not really a big deal either way here, but I just want to make sure I put one up. So you got 2, -3, 5, 7, -6, 1, and 4, -3 again. Okay. Okay. And then again, it might ask for the domain. So put a domain right here. Okay, that just means, again, your X values. Okay, so you're just going to list those 2, 5, -6, and 4. Okay, you're just going to list all your X values. First number in each ordered pair. Okay, and there'll be a bracket. Okay, for the range, you're just going to list all your Y values. Okay, got -3, got 7, you got 1, and you have -3 again. Okay, so you don't have to put the -3 twice. And usually it is not listed twice. Okay, so I'll just put that. In iExcel, I tested it. If you put the second -3 in, it's still okay. Okay, you put your range is -3, 7, 1, and -3, it's still good. Okay, but usually when you see them listed, it won't be listed twice. Okay. All right. All right, the last type of problem you're going to see is a graph. Okay, you're going to see ordered pairs that are grafted. The main thing here is you need to write down your ordered pairs. Okay, you need to write them down and write them down carefully. Don't just do it in your head. You're going to get frustrated. Okay, because you're going to miss something, especially when they have like 5 ordered pairs on there. Okay, so again, I'm stressing for these, just take your time and make sure you get the correct points. Okay. All right. So I'm going to first write down what it's going to ask of you. It's either going to ask of you for the domain and or the range. Some questions will ask for both. Okay. So it's going to ask for you for the domain and range. And this is going to be number 3. All right. So the key thing. So the key thing again is to write down each the X and Y for each point. Okay. So for example, for this point, write down on a piece of paper somewhere, write the X first. This is 3, 2, or X is 3, Y is -2. Write it down. Okay, so write it down. This point is going to be X is 1, Y is 3. Someone write it down. X is 1, Y is 3. This point, X is -2. Always write the X first. Y is also -2. So for that one, they're both the same. Okay, so always write the X first. And then the points on the graph. This one is on the X-axis. Okay, so since it's on the X-axis from your notes from yesterday, the Y is always equal to 0. Okay, so on the X-axis, this is -3, 0. Okay, you remember from our notes from yesterday, we wrote down on the Y-axis, X is always equal to 0. On the X-axis, Y always equals to 0. Okay, so anything along the X-axis, Y is going to equal to 0. Okay, so -3, and then the Y is 0. And then this point, okay, anything along the Y-axis, the X is 0. So this point is 0, 3. Okay. So once you have all your points listed, now there's not as many things to keep straight in your head when you're listing out the domain and range. Okay, so the domain, you're just going to list out all the X values. So -3, -2, 0, 1, 3. Okay, so once it's written, it's very easy. Okay, it's just like 1 and 2. Okay. And then the range, that just means your Y values. Okay, so again, once it's listed, it's very easy. -2. There's another -2. Okay, so I don't have to write it twice if I don't want. There's a 0. There's a +2 as my Y. And then there's also a 3. Okay, and those are my values for my range. Okay, so on these, let me emphasize, write down the coordinate. Okay, write the X first, write the Y first, and then you can just list. The domain is just your X's, the range is just your Y's. Okay, so I'm gonna pan out here. I'm gonna go ahead and star the IXL. Let me stop recording while you guys are catching up on anything you need to write.